Bizarre Brain Comics. Hello, my friends. And welcome to Bizarre Brain Comics. I am the Dark Librarian. And I am here to tell tales of terror. And that's terrorizing. It's terrifying. My pipe won't stay lit. And here to help me is my friend Mr. Bones. And he is holding the book that we're going to look at this time. It is The Witching Hour, number 136 from 1973. Nectar. And that's where we're going to be terrorized tonight. So, give me that, Mr. Bones, and here we go. To see what lies within the pages. Here we are. This is The Witching Hour. Oh, number 32. I spoke incorrectly before. It's number 32 from 1973. And this is The Witching Hour with this great Nick Cardy cover. Nick Cardy was drawing a lot of covers for DC Comics at this time of all varieties. And he did a lot of The Witching Hour. And they always seem to have to have a lovely young lady in peril on the cover, whether she knew she was in peril or not. Even whether or not she was even in the story. It doesn't matter. Okay. And the story has a framing sequence featuring the three witches which make up the coven. They are the crone, the matron, and the maiden, and they tell stories to each other. And the first story was written by George Kashdan, with art by Flor Dery and Romy Camboa. And the second story was written by Bill Dennehy, with art by Francisco Redondo. We've talked about him before, and he's the brother of Alf. I suddenly forgotten his name. Redondo, who did the art of Rima the Bird Girl. And the third story was written by Carl Wessler, with art by Artie Saff. And we won't be covering those too much. But I do want to talk a little bit about Flor Dery. He's also Florio was his proper name, but he went by Flor. He was a Filipino artist born in 1958. Now think of that. He was born in 1958. This book was published in 1973. Now, if my sources were correct about his birth date, it makes him 15 years old when he did this. That's pretty young for a professional. And he made his comics debut in this issue, doing the pencils. And later he got his first pencils and ink job in House of Secrets, number 110 in 1973. And he was in the design department on the 1980s Transformers TV series and the Transformers movie. and he drew the Sunday strip for the Spider-Man newspaper strip for many years, and was the storyboard artist for Sunbow Productions and much more. So while the daily strip for many years was primarily drawn by Larry Lieber, Sundays were often drawn by Flor Dery. And there you can see another view of that Nick Cardy cover. He was doing so much in the westerns, and did some Aquaman years before. Let's take a look inside. Here we have the three witches. This is in the framing sequence. And they're talking about wanting a man and arguing. Then they get a man out on the clothesline. Of course, he's dead. Now, this is the story that was drawn by Flor Dery with written by George Cashdan. What evil taunts this house? And this is the crone telling this story. And this is a story about, here we see this guy rushing home. He had car trouble, rushing home to his mother's house. Gets there just in time. The moon is full that night. And he says, I arrived just in time. Then we see at an insurance company. And they have a special life insurance policy on this fellow we just saw. Don't know why, but he's got this clause about double indemnity for death by supernatural means. And the supervisor says, go check this out. This sounds like some kind of scam to me. So he goes to interview the people, but he sees little hints here. Sees some animal fur on the ground, on the floor, and says, but they don't have pets, no dogs or anything. So he takes a little sample. He goes home. He goes back, but he says something's not right here. And then we see, here's a nice panel where we see this extreme close-up on half of the character's face, and then over the shoulder, the other character's face. This is when it's saying that we don't know what kind of, this is an unknown animal that this fur is from. See, and they do this, recreate that same shot right here. This is with the old lady, the mother, and over the shoulder is our insurance adjuster. That's an interesting shot and being repeated. And then you get another slightly different version of that. Extreme close-up of this person in passing on this long panel when our main figure is in the background. He's going, and he kind of stakes out the place for weeks. He's there every day. And then it's time, the moon rises again. They plan they're going to have our only chance for them not to find out their secret is to trap him. And he sneaks into the house when it's all quiet. And what's this? A beast. She lets loose the beast on him, and it's werewolf. He blasts it with a shotgun to no avail, and he's being mauled and attacked. And he manages to grab a silver letter opener and stabs the beast with that, and it kills him. And then he transforms back into the sun and said, oh, well, we are grateful in a way because you have released my son. It's a family curse. But now you have that curse because he was mauled and survived. And he takes off, and they're wondering why they paid off on that insurance policy. And that is the end of the story from the old crone. Then we have another story. This one's being told by the matron. And this takes place in Japan. Some scientist and invented something to make a person young again. And so he kills the doctor, takes the stuff, and he's a young man, imagining all the things he's going to do as a young man again, because he's an old man and he's just a janitor. Here we got this cool ad here for Pirates of the Caribbean. Remember these things? Ah, no, you're not old enough. And then all the things he's going to do, but then he finds out he's drafted and going and going into the army, where he dies in a battle with the U.S. Marines in World War II. He might have been old. If he had not, he wouldn't have gone to war, and he would have lived longer. Then we have the maiden telling the story here. Name your poison. And this is one, he's just got this old man, this farmer takes in this fella to work for him, and is revealed that he's intends to leave his farm to the young fella, and so the young fella poisons him, is to kill him, but then discovers, well, it didn't work. He tries to kill him again, and it didn't work. He tries to kill him again, and it doesn't work, until finally he accidentally kills himself, and then he finds out that he's been trying to kill a ghost the whole time. And that is all good fun here in the land of terror on Bizarre Brain Comics. And it's midnight, the witching hour. Yes, and I hope Dope appreciates this one, because I know Witching Hour is his favorite horror title from DC Comics of the 70s. Yes, for you, my friend Dope. That's all I've got. Please like, share, subscribe. Share it with your other horror-loving friends. Leave a comment. Do you think I'm over the top? You got any questions for me? About anything, let me know. And which of these stories do you like best? Which of the DC horror titles do you like best? Or just any of the horror titles from anybody during the 70s. What do you like the best? Let me know in the comments below. And remember, comics are art.